Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Sorry about the rain. I want to keep pushing out information and be consistent for you. I mean, it is what it is, and I apologize. So, I'll just try to talk loud, and hopefully it's all right. This is an important video because it's about VA funny math. And, you know, VA funny math is not really that funny. It's actually really irritating for many veterans, especially if you are not aware of how the VA funny math works. So, there's I guess a couple different things that I want to share with you. One, how VA funny math works and why it's important to understand what your ratings really are and what they actually really add up to. Because your ratings are often not exactly at the 10% increments. Your rating might be 94%, or it might be 72%, or it might be 64%. So it's important to understand what your true rating is as you look to increase ratings, add secondary conditions into your service-connected conditions fold so you can receive additional compensation, or just looking for new conditions overall to try to drive your ratings higher. It's important to know where you're at so you can figure out where you're going. Coupling that along with the schedule of ratings and understanding what criteria is needed for each individual rating, or are you already at the maximum rating for a specific condition, is also important, right? It's all part of the big puzzle of VA. So before we get into this, I'm going to first jump into how VA funny math works, give you a couple examples, and why it's important so you can go ahead and push to the next level. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I truly appreciate it. That is what is really helping to get the word out. Hitting the thumbs up, letting the video run. If you want to be a member, consider being a member. It does help out the channel. It helps me to find you quicker in the comments. You can do it by going to the home page. You'll see highlighted members and the join button there. Thank you so much to everyone. I really appreciate you. All right. VA funny math. I'm going to give you the off the top of my head version that I've said for many years, so it's easy for me to remember. So, if you're a veteran and you have three 50% ratings, whatever it is, right? 50 for your head, 50 for your, back, and 50 for your leg. You got three 50% ratings. What the VA does is they don't say 50 plus 50 plus 50 is 150, so we're going to give you, you're over 100. They don't do that. We wish they did, but they don't. What the VA will do with your ratings, whatever they are, is they're going to look and they're going to go, okay, we're going to take your largest rating first. In this case, they're all the same. 50%. They're going to go, okay, well, that 50% rating means, well, you're 50% bad. But guess what? That means you're still 50% good. Then they grab your next rating and they go, okay, well, 50%, your next highest, 50% of your 50% good is 25. So now they're going to add the 25 to your 50 bad. Now you're 75% bad. But guess what? You're still 25% good. Then they're going to grab your last rating in this situation, which is another 50%, and they're going to say 50% of your 25% good is 12.5. They're going to add that to your 75. That's 87.5, which they don't do the points, so it's 88. Then they're going to round that to 90, because they'll round it to the nearest 10. So 350s is really 90%. Now, another example here, and I'm going to share this link with you. The VA recently, I don't remember how long ago, maybe a year ago, added onto their website, about time, a VA calculator, a VA disability rating calculator, so you don't have to try to figure out the funny math in your head like I just explained it. Now, I put in here a 50% rating, a 40%, a 30, and 2 10s. So, whatever that is, who knows? Let's say that's a 50% for mental health, a 40% for arthritis, 30% for who knows what, GERD, 10% for tinnitus, and another 10% for some radiculopathy. Sounds good. So anyway, so that's our veteran here that we're going to talk about, and that's it. Writing it out, and that veteran goes, I'm an 80% veteran. I'm 10% away from the next from 90. Because I'm at 80. What a pain. So maybe they got a 0% for some ankle condition or something too. So here they are. They're sitting at 80. But if you run all those numbers in the VA calculator, or you just do the math yourself, the funny math, you'll see that they're really at 83%. Well, we know now, based on what I just talked about, 83% means that you're 83% bad. That means you're still 17% good. So if you had another 10% rating, that would be 1.7. 1.7 added to the 83% would be 84.7, rounded to 85. Then they're going to take the 85 and round it to 90. So you really, in this situation, only need one additional rating of 10% to bump you to the next level. This is why it is so important that we understand what our ratings really add up to. Now, the great thing about the calculator is you can plug in all of your ratings. They all still stay there. You can type in what each one is, so you'll have rows, and you can adjust them. So let's say, for example, you're rated 10% for migraines, and you read the schedule of ratings, and the schedule of ratings for 30% for migraines, you're reading it going, wow, I meet all of that. You can go into the rating calculator, change your migraine rating from 10 to 30, and see what that does to your overall rating. So that's a very important aspect that you can utilize. Maybe there's another condition that you want to add as a secondary, or a new service-connected condition that you had missed. This would give you the opportunity to add those in to the calculator to see where it's going to fall as far as a final rating is concerned. This helps you develop a roadmap to your claim, right? Figuring out, again, you must utilize the schedule of ratings so you can understand, am I already maxed out on that specific rating? Or do I not meet the criteria for the next level, right? You need to understand that aspect as you're playing with this. You just can't move numbers around thinking, well, if I can increase this, you might already be the maximum. Or you might not even be close to the criteria needed for the next level. So you need to read the schedule of ratings for each one of your current conditions so you can understand if you have movement availability in that rating. Once you figure it all out, then that gives you, again, the roadmap. I know I need to try to increase this rating. I know I need to add this secondary. And guess what? I found this other service-connected condition that maybe now showed up as a presumptive, so that's great. I'm going to add that in. Maybe it's hypertension. Maybe it's sinusitis, whatever, right? Now I know that I can file for all of these things, go to my doctor, get my, documentation with my doctor, my medical records, make sure that I embed the information, the criteria from the service or from your schedule of ratings, insert that information into my medical records so that way I can then put that in as evidence for my claim. And now you're going to be solid, and you figured it all out where you needed to fall and what you needed to do by utilizing your current rating where you're at. Understanding what the overall rating is, right? In this case, the veteran was 80%, but really they were 83, and all they needed was one more 10% to cross the threshold to get to a round up to a 90. In some cases, you might be sitting at a 90% rating, but maybe you're 94%, right? Maybe you're 93%, or maybe you're further away than you thought, and you're really an 85% rounded to 90. You're going to have a lot more work to do. But this helps you to realize where you need to put the effort, what makes sense to move, and gives you some sort of an idea of which way to aim, really. And now you have the direction you need to go, and you have some things to work on. So with that, we'll end it there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one, and remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.